Probably one of the strangest things to debate about the sequel trilogy is the nostalgia issue. Now, whatever you think about them, The Force Awakens and Last Jedi made a pretty respectable sum at the box office, and you can even question people's tastes and liking those films, but they clearly did do very well financially. And people try to answer, well, of course they did very well. They were filled with nostalgia, right? They just had a lot of the original characters from the original trilogy, so it's really not surprising that they did pretty well because they were just bagging on nostalgia, and that's why they did so well. But that's always been a kind of myth among Star Wars fans. I mean, if we talk about nostalgia, I mean, whatever you think about them, the prequels were filled with nostalgia. We had Kenobi, we had Yoda, we had the Force, we had lightsaber battles. We even had, and again, I like Django a lot, but Django is literally Boba Fett. I don't just mean he looks like Boba Fett. We're actually told it is Boba Fett. It's an actual clone of Boba Fett. So even in the prequels, which a lot of people keep trying to argue are more original, literally have the same character. So it's a little hard to believe that nostalgia or nostalgia done bad is why the sequel trilogy should be criticized. Almost everything in Star Wars is nostalgic. It's all based on prior material. The original trilogy is original in name only. We have Dune, we have Flash Gordon, we have Wizard of Oz, we have Lord of the Rings. There's almost nothing in the original trilogy which is actually original to Star Wars. It's all based on other material or prior material. Now, this isn't really too shocking. Almost everything in Hollywood is based on a prior source, or prior film, or prior novel. The only thing is that Star Wars is just much more successful at it. But in terms of the idea that Disney is stealing something and passing it off as their own, well, yeah, that may be true, but Star Wars was no different under Lucas. Almost everything Lucas did was done by somebody else. Almost every key decision, almost every key creation is basically sort of stolen or borrowed from another film or another creation, and Lucas just passed it off as his own. And that's fine. Again, I'm not obsessed with originality. I do find it curious, though, that there's this strong mythology now that what Lucas was doing was original. Apparently, when he stole something or he took something, that was original stealing. But now that it's done by Disney, it's not original stealing, it's stealing. But no, it's all stealing all the way through, and if you really care about originality, then probably Star Wars is not for you. There's almost nothing original in Star Wars, so if original matters as an aesthetic category, then you're probably better off watching something else. But if you're okay with borrowed ideas, then yeah, Star Wars is fine. I think Star Wars is pretty good. But I would never ever call it original. I understand some people don't understand originality or film history that well, right? Their frame of reference is usually just early 90s films to the present, so they might honestly think Star Wars is original, and watching the prequels, they're really shocked at how original they are. But I'll just note one case study before I close, namely Jar Jar Binks. Now, I'm on record, I don't really like Jar Jar. I don't like even Jar Jar now, even if I learned a whole lot more and done a lot more research. And I respect what Lucas was trying to do, but even that attempt, basically having this animated character with live action actors, was done before, right? If you remember Roger Rabbit, that's basically what they did. Now, Lucas took it to the next level, but there wasn't an original idea. He just applied it more thoroughly with more modern technology. And that's fine. But I don't want to keep hearing that, well, the sequel trilogy bad, nostalgia, but original trilogy good, no nostalgia. No, there's a lot of nostalgia in all of Star Wars. I can't think of a single story in Star Wars that is in any shape or form original. It's basically stolen from something else. And that's fine. As you grow up, you realize how many artists of all kinds keep borrowing from one another in terms of a tradition. That's just the fact of the matter. Hollywood just monetizes it a certain way, but in terms of the larger scope, This has always been an issue in terms of artistry and fiction creation, right? Whether it's Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, you're always going to find something that came before it. So nothing is ever truly original. Alright, this has been Star Wars Analyzed on the nostalgia question in the sequel trilogy. If you like the content, please hit the like button and or subscribe. Thank you for listening. Please be safe.